So let's get started with our brand new rate plan. I'm going to click the green plus symbol in the bottom left-hand corner. That's now going to give me a pop-up on screen where I can create my new rate. So the first thing I need to do is assign a category, give it a rate name and a rate code. From this category list, I can see a list of available categories that have been set up for this database. If you are doing this for the first time and you don't see a category that you want to use, or you want to make any changes to this list of categories, that's where that button, the Rate Categories button on the previous page, comes into play. So if you want to edit any information in this drop-down list, you can click Rate Categories and you can update that list of categories available to you. I'm going to create a brand new daily rate, so I'll just select the daily rates category, and I'm just going to call this daily rate here. Now for the rate code, this rate code is required for all rate plans in the Rate Wizard. And the rate code, you will need to adhere to some restrictions. So the rate code can only be letters or numbers, uppercase or lowercase letters. You cannot use any special characters. So I might just type in the rate code daily here, but I would not be able to use ampersand or hashtag, for example. If you try to use that information when you click create, Roomkey will give you this warning message letting you know requirements for that rate code itself, which also include character length restrictions. So I'll just keep the rate code daily there. The next thing that I can do is define my distribution channels. Now, this property is an independent owner operation, so it does not use the Roomkey CRS. I can remove that distribution channel right away. I will keep the Direct Hotel, hotel website, and GDS distribution channels selected. Now, I can go one step further to further define my distribution channels by selecting the More Details button. This property has some penthouse suites that I do not want to make available online. I want those suites to only be available by contacting the Hotel Direct. So when I click More Details, you'll see that this will now expand. Let me just move this over to the side here. And it will show a list of all of your room types by room type code. And it's these PH suites that I do not want distributed out through the hotel website or GDS. So in order to remove them from those distribution channels, I would click the black drop-down arrow to expand for my PH parlor room type. I'm going to remove GDS and hotel website and only leave the Hotel Direct channel. If you have certain room types that you don't want to be available for a rate at all, you can simply remove the check mark completely, and that will not distribute rates for those room types. So you can customize this as much as you'd like. For example, here I have my Executive King Suite or EKS room type, and I'm going to make this one only available through the Hotel Direct distribution channel. Anytime you're making changes to these room type distributions, you want to select Apply in the bottom left-hand corner to save those changes. Now, when you do have restrictions or customizations to those distribution channels, you'll notice here that I now have an asterisk listed beside the distribution channel. And that is a visual cue to let me know that not all rooms are available through that distribution channel for this rate. Now, moving further down, I do have the ability to add some restrictions for the rate plan itself. So if I was setting up this rate to be a advanced purchase rate, which requires the guest to book at least 7 days in advance, you can set up cutoff days at this point for this rate plan. So I could put cutoff days listed here, and that means that this rate is only available to be booked for days that are arriving 7 or more days in the future. This is actually a daily rate, so I'm just going to leave that. The minimum and maximum number of persons, those are actually controlled by the different room types that are booked overall. If I apply the restriction here, it will override those restrictions on the room types as well. We'll also talk about some of the restrictions such as number to sell or minimum maximum length of stay. The most common way that properties would put these restrictions on is actually to the when they're loading the prices. So we'll see that as well in today's presentation. A little further down, I do have a billing period. This is where I can assign the billing period for this rate plan, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. This is a daily rate, so I'm just going to keep the default setting here as daily billing period. It is important to note that when you create a rate for the first time, you are able to assign the billing period. However, if you edit the rate later on, you are not able to change this billing period setting. This is a one-time setting at the time that you're creating the rate. Below the billing period is the market segment. And again, this gives me a drop-down list. So I can select the appropriate market segment for this rate plan. And if you'd like to edit anything that appears in this drop-down list, that's where you can use that market segments button back on the main page of the Rate Wizard to customize this market segment list. For a lot of properties, you may not use market segment. It is an enhanced report available on BI reporting. So if you're not using the BI reporting tool to report on market segments, you may just have a default market segment already available for you there. For this rate, I'm just going to select the standard rates market segment. Lastly, at the bottom, this is where you can add a description for this rate plan. The description will appear for any guests that are booking through your hotel website, that eRes booking engine tool. It can also be viewed by any of your staff that are booking the hotel direct on behalf of a guest, but it will not push out to any GDS descriptions. Any rate descriptions for GDS rates posted by third parties, you usually put the description on the third party rate itself. So that would be through the Partner Central portal if it's Expedia, or maybe through your hotel portal if it's booking.com. But because this is distributed out, I'm going to add a quick little description here just to state that this is a daily rate that is available to all guests. So now I've added my required information and I've customized my distribution channels there. I'm going to click the Create button in the bottom left-hand corner. So I now have my brand new rate. It shows up in my main screen here, highlighted. It is alphabetized, so it'll show up alphabetically in this list. I can see my rate code is daily, all caps, and I can see those distribution channels listed here. I can also see that this rate is not tiered, so I do need to create my rate template and load those rate prices manually. I can also see that, of course, it is billed daily while the guest is in-house there. So I've completed that first of 3 multi-step processes. I've created my new rate plan.